I remember your beautiful smiling face, so kind, so good, and your laughter.
We are all Africans. Whether the tone of your skin do not say you are Africans. We say we are all Africans.
My first language is African, and I think that when you have that, when you have language, you can preserve your culture.
I'm from Jamaican parentage, but I see myself as an African woman. I've named all of my children with African names as well.
I've grown up with a notion to love everything that I am as an African first.
Most of us in Africa, our history is, is not recorded. So we go by oral tradition. My father told me, and somebody else told me, and we have spread this news.
Hackney is Africa, and should anyone wants to come to Africa, just come to Hackney.
No, 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 no.
And I think the market is one of the best market in London, in Britain. Let me say that, Ridley Road Market.
These are hand woven. Okay, they come in strips like this one, single strips before they are put together. So a lot of hard work. This one is handmade as well, from cotton. They are tied and then dyed and then sewn into this dress beautifully. Yeah. This design, usually the Africans, they have lots of symbols, okay, with meanings. This, for instance, is a talking drum. Okay, so it's a very, very important drum in Ghana. Okay, most chiefs have this. They use it to communicate.
Well, we get a lot of people from all over the world. We've got a few customers who come from the States. Mainly they come on visit into this country and then they hear about the shop and they just pop in to inquire about DVDs and CDs about Ghana. We've got a few top artists here. You've got Kogenchi, you've got Dada Lumba, and then we've got the old Pat Thomas.
I got healing soap, healing cream. I have a Santua cream, a Santua soap, some product from Africa, some ingredient from Europe, and then we mix them. But this sponge is natural sponge from our ancestors. That's what they used to use. And still, our grandmoms in here, they like to use the same thing.
I'm an antique collector, that's what it's all about. And I lay a son for the Foreign Office, signing legal documents and working with the community. You go to Italy, you adopt Italian, the Africans come to English, and it's an adoption. And that's how we really integrate. Culturally, everything can be adopted. And that's how the world is going to go forward now.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
A group, myself, and all this decided, well, the best thing we can do as practicing teachers is that we should give up our time and going on Saturdays, going to schools and help.
Everyone got the letters and then we brought it home, and then my mum was very interested in that, but we wasn't, because we wanted to sleep on Saturdays and have fun. That's what we usually do.
We come in and help with their SATs revision program. We have our own timetable. If they need extra support, that support is there 24/7.
Every Saturday we was like, oh, I don't want to go, but then we got used to it and then we liked coming here, so then we continued that through secondary school. Throughout
the summer, we run a 4 or 5 weeks program, which is a cultural arts-led program. It's not necessarily curriculum-led.
We go to many different museums as well. So we've been to, I think we've pretty much been to all the museums over the 5 years I've been here, but yeah, there's quite a lot to learn.
With the Olympic on our doorstep and all the great architecture there, so we actually took them there to actually see with your own eye. Don't just be a bystander, be part of it. Our children need to know some historical background. For instance, how did Nigeria come about? How did Ghana come about? We've got Congolese, we've got Sierra Leoneans, we've got Iraqis, Syrians even, we've got Bengalis. Where children are concerned, there's no difference. Children are children everywhere. 12 years on, we're still here.
I always love poem. I read and I listen and I always go wherever there is a poem.
This is Asha Lul, a fantastically talented Somali poet who I've been working with because I work with the Poetry Translation Center.
Military came to my home and then they shoot everybody and I got shot from here in my shoulder. And someone of the friend of the family thought when they hear I got the shot, they thought I was dead. And thought maybe a year later I met him. And then he asked me, I thought you were dead. And a poem came out of me.
dhawaaq gabay cabdo waayada waanigii dhigay ma dhaqaajin maansooyinkii dhumucda weynaa inkastoon dhab uga aamusoon daayay dhihideeda wax u dhiiga kiciyaa jiroo dhibay naftaydii aan kuu dhambalo waayadaa waa dhur sugayseene
ubuxu cutub ilaam sameeyo curubta caaradeedu siman tahay oo caydhkii tumay caawadii hore oo hoobaantu casuus casaan yartaho cambuush iyo midhuhu ciireen oo caasha ayaa isa saaray cirfiyada oo curdankii u bislaaday cayn.
Military was trying to stop the civilians to get out of the city. And in that case, everyone was victim. Because of that, I was one of them, and I've been locked in a room just to get safe. I think it was 4 days. The person who went out was dead.
ninkii hadal mar dhaafsaday warkani uu dhacaya inta aanan dhamaysay aroos diibsa kugu hoynin inta aan caways loo dhan yahay aan tala ciyaarin dhugta sacabka dheel iyo mashxarad laga dhawaaqsiinin dhallaankeenna oo koray durduro dhababacaynaynin allow aan god lay dhigin xabaal dhinacna lay jiif
isiya sharaf caadil ugu deeqiyo caynka ay u egta caynkaan u dayaba naftani calmata ayaa loo ka celin nimcada u camila
We started this church in Edmonton. When we found out, after a couple of months, that wasn't the ideal location, we moved here. And ever since then, it's been working fine.
There are people that come from Birmingham and they come from Exeter, Essex, Luton, all to this service. They look forward to it because it brings a kind of home far away, where they are. So it draws home to them from far away, really.
There has always been this urge within the Igbo community in London that we all belong to our local parishes. The idea of coming together to worship in our language was absolutely necessary. So we thought that with this church, we will be able to start Sunday school and begin to teach our children our dialect, our Igbo. If they don't know the language, they will never know the culture. So you start with language and then hopefully we develop into the culture.
We want our children to be able to understand history of their background, their ancestral background. Some of us may never go back to Africa again. We are typical English, we've adapted to the system here, we are part of the system, we are contributing everything as part of the system. But there is a need for the soul spiritually looking for who you are all the time, and we want to use this forum again to extend it to our children.
I want to get in touch more with my Nigerian and Igbo side. It's really good to know where you come from and to also to keep in touch with it.
I've been coming to this church since its inception. That is November last year. I've never missed one.
I'm from Africa, so yeah, Nigeria. So I had that idea in mind, and that's where the jewelry sprung up from. So shapes, sizes, symbols from Ghana, Adinkra symbols, all that kind of stuff. Half my family is here, half my family in Nigeria. My dad's in Nigeria, mom's here. I've only been there a while back, but I'm looking to go very soon. First time for my son, so yeah, looking very excited about that. Looking to go very, very soon.
I'm Ghanaian myself, and I go to Ghana quite a lot, so I always use the products myself. I like colourful things, as you can see. These strips are sewn together. Usually they do strips and it makes a big material, so you can make a big material like that. Raw shea butter from Tamale, which is a northern part of Ghana. We go to the villages to get the raw shea butter, so we're helping back the villages as well. These symbols here, they all have different meanings. The Sankofa, which is, it's like the bird, so it means go back and fetch. Go back and fetch means don't forget your past and bring it into the present.
I think it'd be fantastic for Black history to be taught in schools to all children. It's all about our history, Black history and European history at the same time, because it's kind of connected. Somebody here actually told me a really interesting thing about African warriors. There's no information about African warriors in history books, and actually no photographs of African warriors. And she named about 50 African warriors from the Ashanti tribe, which I knew nothing about. I learned that today.
I
came from the Biafran War. I was about 6 when the Biafran War started and 9 when it finished. And we came over here when I was nearly 10. When I came here, my parents banned us from speaking Igbo in the house when we first came. So we learned English quite quickly. And then once we could speak English, they banned us from speaking English in the house. I don't think that change is as difficult for children as it is for adults. You know, I find it really exciting. I remember being very excited by double-decker buses. I was coming from a war, you know, so I wasn't. It's not like I've seen the Igbo culture as it is. You know, the culture I know is very tinged with war. My nursery rhymes are war songs. I First of all, I'm Rasta man, and I'm black, and these things have not always had a very positive image. So I think that going around and playing reggae nursery rhymes to kids, I think I'm crossing boundaries. I think if you've got language, you can have a link to your culture. But I think without language, it's very difficult. Chukwu mere mmadụ, mmadụ mere ọkụ. Ọkụ ṅụrụ mmiri, mmiri menyere ọkụ. Ọkụ rere egbe, egbe gbawuru egbe. Egbe riri ọkụkọ, ọkụkọ riri akịka, akịka riri ụkwa, ụkwa dawuru nwaanyị nkọrọ. A tree without roots is not a tree at all. It's just driftwood. Without knowing who you are, it's impossible for you to have values.
Your beautiful smiling face, so kind, so good, and your laughter lit up all the world. But we had no food. Now you dine with angels in the sky. No fear, no pain. Nenemo, nenemo.